Hey, what's up everybody? Stan35 here, bringing you guys a new video. And just the other day, I got an email saying that Game Informer is unfortunately shutting down. And I was actually really disheartened to hear about this. You know, I really like Game Informer magazine, and I've enjoyed receiving and reading them throughout the years. Even I thought they were going to stop making the magazine once before, either a few months ago or last year or something like that. I can't remember exactly when. And it seemed like they were going to stop at first, but then they came back, and I think they said they were going to try to like go separate or go independently or something like that. So they sent current subscribers of Game Informer magazine a link to where you could renew your subscription and continue receiving the magazines. So me being a Game Informer subscriber, and I still like getting the magazine and stuff, I went over to that new link and resubscribed through there to keep. And I got a couple more magazines for a few more months after that. But I guess now they're not even going to do that anymore. I had first gotten the Game Informer magazine sometime back in the early PS3 days. Now, I can't remember exactly what year it was. I'd have to look through my mags to see if I can find, which one was a specific one that was the first one I got. And I still have and have kept every Game Informer I've gotten up to this point. And honestly, lately I've been occasionally going through some of them and reading through them, because I like reading back on the old gaming articles and stories and the old reviews and seeing older gaming ads and stuff like that. Back when game advertisements were more interesting. I mean, think about it. You listen to some chill music, grab yourself a snack, and read through a couple of old gaming magazines. Sound kind of lit to me. But anyway, I miss gaming magazines. I like sitting down and reading through the articles and reviews and screenshots and all that stuff. Reading about what was thought about certain games back then. Or one thing I like when it comes to reading through some of these old gaming magazines, I like reading about games that later on wound up getting canceled. That usually ends up in a pretty fun rabbit hole to go down. Reading gaming magazines just hits a certain way, man, I'm telling you. And really, before Game Informer, I had never really subscribed to any other kind of gaming magazines. Now, I've seen some of the other gaming magazines over the years, like EGM and original Xbox magazines and Nintendo Powers and stuff. But any of the other gaming magazines that I might have had before then, I had gotten as gifts or something like that. Like this one issue of GamePro that I have. It's literally the only issue of that magazine that I even have, and I got that as a gift. I want to say it was sometime in Easter one year, whenever that particular issue came out. I want to say that's when I got that one, from what I can remember. Oh, and one other thing I just decided to add in terms of Game Informer, as much as I love still getting their current magazines just don't hit the same as their earlier ones. The older magazines were a lot bigger and a lot thicker in terms of the content that they had in it. And I really noticed that when I would, the times like I said I would pull out some of my older Game Informer magazines to read through, I noticed just how much they've slimmed them down over the years. Like one thing I remembered when I was looking through, when I reached the end of the magazine, is that at the backs of the older Game Informer magazines, they used to have a trivia game section in the back of them, and depending on the score amount of the ones you got right, you'd be signed some kind of like funny title or something like that. You could, like a little trivia game you could play in the back of the magazines, and they don't even do that anymore in the newer magazines. And just some various other like things or articles or something like that they did in the old ones that they either slimmed down on or just outright cut out completely in the newer magazines. So that's really noticeable, and it really kind of sucks. Oh, and also as a quick aside, I wanted to throw in here real quick, since we're talking about gaming magazines, I wouldn't mind picking up some of those older PSM and PlayStation magazines someday. If you guys have ever seen any of those, or if you've been subscribed to it yourself, the old PlayStation magazines, what I really liked about them is the cover artwork. The covers on some of these magazines look really dope. I just love something. It's just something about that 90s era comic book style art. I've always loved that particular art style. I just love the way it looks and stuff. It looks so cool when it's done like that. I like that art style a lot. And plus, I'd also like to read through them too. I've never had or read any PSN magazine, so I wouldn't mind going through some of them, just looking back on just the gaming era and the gaming industry and stuff back then through the the lens of those magazines and stuff. But as for Game Informer, even the website is being shut down. Actually, I checked, the website is already pretty much gone, except for the message on the website telling people that GI is shutting down. And man, it sucks to see the website go too. I have a lot of memories with like the Game Informer website and stuff. Like, I remember back in the day, I really loved GI's website. Like, pretty much every day I would like hop on the website and just read the gaming articles on there that interested me. That's where I got a lot of my gaming news from at the time, was through a couple other places on the app, but mainly through Game Informer articles and things like that. And that was also back when I actually cared to really keep in touch with the news and stuff in gaming. Nowadays, I don't really care to keep up that closely on the info in the gaming space as much anymore. Like, I don't know. To me, these days, modern gaming just doesn't interest me all that much anymore. I still keep tabs on gaming today to some extent, but most of it honestly just, I don't really care too much about, like, a lot of stuff going on in modern gaming, or a lot of modern games that come out. So I don't keep track of the gaming news as much and as closely as I used to back then. But either way, back in the PS360 days, I went to Game Informer's website for my gaming news for quite a while there. I don't remember exactly how long I was doing that, but I was going to the websites regularly for a while. And not only that, but another aspect of the website that I really liked was when the crew at Game Informer would do the replays and the super replays. The replays and super replays, those were when some of the Game Informer crew would come together and record themselves playing a random game, or an assortment of random games. It started out, I think when they first did it, just started out as just replay, where they'd use a roulette thing to pick some random game they have in the Game Informer vault. So, they're a gaming magazine place, so they have a ton of games. So they would just use a roulette thing to pick a random assortment of games, and then they would play those games for a while. And then after that, it eventually branched out into Super Replay, where instead of playing a couple of different games, they do full playthroughs of a game. It was cool, and some of them have some really funny moments in it. If any of you guys out there are some Game Informer fans, you guys remember watching some of their Super Replays, I'm sure you guys have your own memories of some funny Super Replay moments or playthroughs or something like that. Like, some of my favorite Super Replays that they did over the years was the Overblood one, and the one they did for Illbleed and Blue Stinger too. And those replays themselves led me to find out about those specific games, because before they did the super replays of those games, I had never seen or heard of those games before. So I found out about those games through those replays, and those games themselves are really funny, cool games that I'd love to play myself someday. Now, I don't think those replays are totally gone. I believe that they have them uploaded to the Game Informer YouTube channel. So if this video has sparked any interest to see what it is I'm talking about, if you've never seen the super replays before, if you ever wanted to revisit the super replays, you weren't aware of it, Game Informer does have all their super replays, at least last I checked, uploaded to the Game Informer YouTube channel. So you guys can head over there and check that out if you ever wanted to. But yeah, I just decided to do this video talking about Game Informer magazine, how much I loved reading the magazine and stuff like that after seeing this news in my email. And I'm honestly going to miss GI. Like, their magazines, specifically the older ones, were a lot of fun to go and read through. Reading all of the articles. Now, reading all of the articles and reading the cover stories they had about the game that was on the cover for that month, that was a fun time. And the website was pretty cool too, and all the classic super replays that they did. And sadly, I think this might be the end of gaming magazines in general. I think Game Informer was like the last one left standing at this point. And now that they're gone, I don't think there's any more like gaming magazines anymore, which that really kind of sucks too. And I really am going to miss it too. Just like I miss gaming magazines in general. Man, that one saying really is true, I guess. They really don't want us to have anything and to be happy about it. Crazy. But anyway, I'm StemMac35 and I'm out. You guys tell me in the comments about your stories about gaming magazines. It doesn't have to be about specifically Game Informer. It's just, what gaming magazines did you guys grow up reading? Were there some that you found or you subscribed to and kept receiving monthly until they quit doing it, or what? You have any fond memories about any specific gaming magazines or something you guys got over the years or something like that? Tell me all about it in the comments. But I'm out. Peace.